person from District 4, Justin Johnson.
I know Chris wanted me to be more traditional and stand behind the podium, but I really like to kind of walk around and talk to people. I think it is a much better setting. I had the opportunity, obviously, to have my dad come and speak first, and I didn't want to be dwarfed by the 6'7" guy.
To the short guy.
Yes. I picked somebody my own size that would come over and speak. Now, first, thank you for everybody that came out today. This is, it shows great dedication to come out in this kind of weather. We obviously were hoping for sunny skies, but snow will do. I mean, in fact, we've had snow. I mean, I literally saw people with cars and there was snow on their windshield. So anyway, thank you so much for coming out. I have to thank the co-host of the event, and I don't want to miss anybody, but obviously the Honorable Chris Hurstum, who introduced me. Chris served not only in the legislature, but he was chief of staff for 3 governors, I believe.
1 governor and on transition teams for others.
Yes. So obviously my dad and Patty, who have always been there for me, have helped me out. The Honorable former Councilman Dave Siebert and Claude Maddox, who I think had to leave. The current Councilwoman Thelda Williams couldn't attend today because she actually is in session doing important stuff rather than being here. And then I don't know if the Congressman Harry Mitchell was able to attend as well, but I know that he has been, spending a lot of time with his wife and enjoying kind of the off season of not being in politics anymore. And then last but not least, we had my cousin Roger Hughes, who's standing over here with a sucker in his hand. And Mike Ingram. I don't know if Mike made it out, but Mike is also, anytime I've called a number of these folks, it's always been, I'm there for you, how can I help? So thank you. I think the dedication is to help me, but it's their leadership and their ability to bring people and show their support. Again, I really appreciate all of you guys have done, so thank you so much. I obviously have to thank my wife. I wouldn't be allowed to stand here today if it weren't for her, so I appreciate, she has been a wonderful woman. And at times, I think she's more excited about this than I am because, she likes the ability to make real practical changes in our community and in our district. And so I'm constantly trying to compete in terms of being excited and making sure I'm smiling as much as she is. But she's been a great person in my life and a wonderful wife and a wonderful mother. So I have to thank her as well. My son Cohen and my daughter Cooper, somewhere around here, were really the original inspiration for me wanting to run for office. My grandma always reminds me of the story, and she's actually sitting over here, of when my dad first ran for office. He ran against somebody named Ann Lynch. This is actually after running unsuccessfully against Barry Starr, but I missed my dad as such a young kid, and so the first thing I said, she told me is, I wish that Ann Lynch had won because I wanted him to be home. Kids are an inspiration. They really are. And once you start to develop and build a business, have children, you get to start to see how much government actually has an impact on how that progresses and their future. And so, they're the original inspiration of why I decided to run for my first campaign and running now. So this campaign has been really about ideas and energy. If you saw our first email blast that went out to a little over 50,000 people with a combination of my dad's list, my list, and some of the folks in the neighborhood, in the business coalitions, etc., it was a email that asked for your ideas. It asked for your concerns. How you'd like to see our city grow, and how you'd like to see, what's your vision for this district, this community, and this city. That's, I think, how we are able to address the real things that are taking place in our neighborhoods every day, is by working with folks, bringing more people to the table, and having them be a part of that process as we begin to move forward. In that email blast, the top 3 issues that I really have seen that have been a focus, the number 1 is historic preservation. I think a lot of people see historic preservation as a simple overlay for neighborhoods, but the truth is they're an economic development tool. They attract not only just normal, everyday citizens that have families, but also people who are starting families and young working professionals, people who are looking for hip, cool, new environments to be a part of. The second piece was actually crime and trying to protect the families that live in our homes in our community. I actually spoke to a couple in Loma Linda. Their name was actually Becky and Lucas, and they talked about a story which we put in the email where they were sleeping one day and they heard bullets ring out, and one of the slugs actually hit the wall in the room they were sleeping in. And they're 24, 25 years old. They're afraid to walk around in their neighborhood. They're afraid now to even be in their own home. And it's, it's unfortunate, and it's something that we have to address. We've got to work with the communities. We've got to build the block watches up, build strong coalitions with the business community that's inside of these neighborhoods, but also, with the neighborhoods themselves. And we also got to get the private side invested in this as well, because it is also an economic deterrent. The more crime you have, the less people are going to build great commercial products in our city, and that's something we can't have. The third, and I think is pretty important in this community, being as it does include Central City, as well as some of the west side of Maryville areas, is urban infill and revitalization. Those are two unique and special items that, to me, and special issues to me, that I actually think that I have, a unique understanding of, because I've worked in the real estate side, and I've done the revitalization projects. My dad, my Uncle Rob, who's out here as well, we did a revitalization project on 19th Avenue in Camelback, where we cleaned up the site. We built it as a gate-guarded community. We repainted it, we resurfaced it, re-landscaped it. We need more of that kind of activity going on in the Central City, out in the west side, and out in the Maryville area. A lot of folks in this district are actually looking for urban infill as well. I mean, if you drive down Central, how many vacant lots are between Camelback and McDowell? There's a lot of opportunity in this district. It's a great community, and I think that we have so much potential. But as you know, this seat has to be earned. It's not something that's going to be given to anybody. It's going to take hard work. I won't get outworked in this campaign, and as the future city councilman, I won't get outworked as well. I think that type of dedication is what citizens in this community and in this neighborhood are looking for. Somebody who's going to work hard for them every single day in, day out, but also remember to be accessible, to come to the neighborhood associations, as some of our friends here are part of, to show up at the Block Watch events and the Willow Home Tour and some of the other home tours in the communities, but to be accessible and work hard for them every single day. I don't want to keep you too long, as I know that you guys have plenty of other things to get to and probably get home and relax while you're trying to avoid the rain, but I appreciate everybody coming here. I'll be here until the last person leaves, because as a good general, you always have to have the last foot on the field. But any questions that you might have, please come and talk to me. I'm here for as long as anybody else, and really looking forward to it. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.